Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Janelle McSwiggin and I'm a nurse and medical writer for the past 6 years. I help burnt out nurses leave the bedside and find remote work as a nurse medical writer. Like, subscribe, and follow for my channel for more tips. Today we're going to be going over writing portfolio, what it is, tips and tricks to get started. My writing students have the same question over and over again. How do I get started with no experience? The answer is a writing portfolio. And then they always follow up with, what's a writing portfolio? So that's what we're going to be diving into it with this video. So I think people get so confused about a writing portfolio is it kind of has a weird name, right? So if we call it like a writing resume or a writing display case, I think people would understand what it is. So basically, it's your best 3 to 5 pieces of work that you can send to an editor. I've never been asked for more than 5, and I've been told editors don't really care if you send them more. I know some people that have really robust portfolios, and they pretty much put in every document that they've ever written for someone. And I'm here to tell you right now, editors do not care. They are not going to read more than that. I've actually sent 5 pieces before to editors, and they've frankly written me back and said, I didn't read more than the first 2. Editors are really busy people, just like me and you. They don't have the time to really read a portfolio that's super dense. Also, they're trained in this, so they know what they're looking for, and they can figure out if you're a good writer in the first 1 to 2 deliverables. It's all about style, tone, if you're able to write to that voice, and if you're able to write to a high level, then they're going to be going after you. If they're only looking at your first 2, 3 pieces, it's really important for you to send your best pieces, especially on the top. By sending pieces that matter, you're showing your editor that you can write well. Make sure they're relevant. If you're trying to get certain deliverable, send that deliverable. If you want to write about blogs, send blogs. If you want to write slide decks, send slide decks. If you send a slide deck to someone who wants you to write about blogs, it doesn't really make sense, right? So I equate it to this. If you're applying for a nursing job, it doesn't make sense to send them a resume with only your waitressing experience. That's actually me. That actually happened to me for my first job. And they were very confused because I didn't tweak my resume for my first nursing job. So please don't be like me. Please don't confuse your editor. Make sure that you're sending relevant work to whatever job that you want to do. So you do have to put a little bit of thought in here for what niche you want and make sure that you're targeted in your approach, or else you might not be quite as successful. Now let's go over what your editor doesn't want, and then we'll go over what your editor does want. I think that that's really helpful for most people. So your editor does not care where you house or keep your portfolio. I'll tell you right now, I don't pay to house my portfolio in a specific location. I don't have a fancy biography attached to mine or anything like that. And I've written for big names like GoodRx, Medical News Today, Health Grades, Haymarket, and a bunch of other ones. And not one of my editors has cared what my portfolio looks like. They've never asked me for my bio or anything like that. They only care how strong my writing and how strong my researching is. And that's evident in the clips that I send them, not where I keep my portfolio. So it doesn't have to be this fancy, super anxiety encompassing thing. You just have to send them your work. I think a lot of writers get really obsessive with trying to make this professional first impression with editors in their portfolio. But when it comes down to it, an editor will take an excellent writer with an unpolished portfolio presentation than a writer with a really fancy, polished portfolio that they paid for, but their writing just really isn't that good. Remember, the editor is looking at your writing. They don't care about anything else. They're not paying you to create a portfolio. They're paying you to write. So make sure that you're focused on writing and not where you're housing your portfolio. All of that extra mumbo jumbo is just noise that doesn't matter. Just put it aside. They don't care if it's on a website or a Google Drive or whatever else, as long as they can read it and access it. If you have more questions on this, I actually offer specific advice on portfolios on my website, willowbarkwriting.com. So now that we figured out that they don't care how you send them or how you house it, or that you're sending, 20 different clips because they're not going to read it, they're really busy. Let's figure out what editors do care about from my experience of working with top editors. They prefer published work, not work that you've written and published yourself. So why does that matter? Those Medium blogs are great. Same thing with the LinkedIn articles, but they don't hold as much weight as if you've been paid and published by someone else. So if you've been paid and published by someone else, it means that you've been working within an editorial team, and it means that you've already been vetted by another editor that is paying you to create that content, and that you can take feedback, that you know how to research, that someone else is okaying your work. So it's kind of like a second set of eyes that the editor is like, okay, they've already been approved by another editor. They've been working in an editorial team. They understand how to do it. They know what a CRM is. That's less work on the editor. If they come across a Medium blog that you wrote, you haven't worked with an editorial team, they don't know if you're just using AI or something else, and they're not quite sure about it. I have heard of people being discovered on Medium, but it's pretty rare and it's pretty small blogs. I'm not knocking it completely, but if you're trying to really pack a punch, you really want to make sure you're published, because that's what editors care about. And a lot of people ask, how do I get published if I've never, been published? It's that cycle that keeps on going. Again, I offer a portfolio building package for people that are curious, and it's like working with an actual editor. So I'll offer specific feedback. You'll get published on my blog. It'll never go away, and I'll be offering testimonials. Other than that, there are a few different ways that you can get published, and I'll be covering that in a later video. So make sure you subscribe, like, and follow if you're curious. Editors do care about typos, poor grammar, and other big mistakes. While they don't care what your portfolio looks like and how it is housed, they care so much about the writing content, because that's what they're going to pay you to do. So your work should be flawless, or at least as close to it as you can get. No one is perfect, and they understand that. And especially if they have an editor looking at it after, they're going to expect that editor to catch some of those mistakes, but they want to make sure that you're a strong writer. This is your first impression. So this is what you really should be concentrating on, the writing. Portfolios are profoundly important. You need one before you can reach out to an editor, and you need an excellent one. You need one that has been vetted by someone that knows what they're doing, and you need one that's been published. It's really important when you're reaching out that you're making one with as little flaws as you can, within the niche that the editor wants, and in the tone, in the target audience that they're familiar with, as well as accessible for them. It doesn't have to be a complicated housing. It just needs to be accessible. If you need help with your portfolio, WillowBarkWriting.com offers a portfolio building workshop just for healthcare writers or workers. Like, subscribe, and follow for more videos. That's it for today.